The level of confidence around what do I do about this? How do I actually flex my organization? And we're not just talking structure, we're talking every attribute of an organization's design. Very few organizations really had a tangible plan in place to actually evolve their organization to keep up with what was going on around them. And Amir's going to talk a little bit more about that.
Why is confidence low? And I think that's the big question. And I'd offer probably two explanations for that. The first is that organization design is messy business. I mean, for those of you that have been through this exercise before, you can relate to this. It's about rewiring people's day-to-day jobs that maybe they had a hand in creating, jobs that give people a sense of self-worth, jobs that are the function of, maybe old power dynamics at the table. And you're basically coming in and you're taking someone's safety and comfort away and saying, we're going to work in a different way tomorrow. And the research that we have shows that something in the order of 70% of all reorganizations that fail to deliver on that original business case do so because that human element isn't properly understood. Right? So for those of you that have actually been through an exercise like this, I'm sure at some point of your career someone said, why are we overcomplicating this? This is just structure. Let's just, get into a boardroom or back of a napkin and let's write this out. The single most dangerous thing you can do is go through that exercise. Because there's so many elements to a reorganization that go basically outside structure. So, org design is complicated, confidence is low. The second reason is that organizations today just aren't structured to deal with the pace of change that we're seeing. It's excessive layers of management, spans of control that are off, command and control structures that require constant up and down escalation and getting approvals and so on. But it's about empowered leadership and inclusion and a whole host of other things that really slow down a business. So our main argument in a newly released paper is that the world has changed and we just haven't kept pace with it. And I think fairness to all of us in the room, the old world that we were part of was a lot easier to understand, right? So it was about a steady set of customers, steady set of products you were sending them, buying habits that made sense, that were more predictable, a competitive environment that you actually knew who your competitors were. There wasn't this sort of elephant just hiding behind the corner about to sort of consume your market share. And in that predictable world, the pursuit of efficiency was the common DNA strand in every single organization, right? So I don't know if you've read Salim Ismail's book, Exponential Organizations, but he puts this really well. He said in that old model, it was about taking scarcity, pockets of scarcity, consolidating it, and then selling access to that scarcity to the rest of the organization, right? Shared services, an example of that. Chargeback models are an example of that. And that's excellent if you're trying to manage cost and drive efficiency from a dollars and cents standpoint, but it's not the most adaptable sounding thing, is it, when you think about it, where the world is heading. So organizations of the future, we anticipate, are going to move away from this focus on efficiency to a focus on adaptability. That's going to be the new catchphrase. It already is on LinkedIn updates. Over the next 2 years, people will be in our field talking about this nonstop.